Welcome back to Maths in an Empty Classroom with me, Mr. Southern. This is part 2 of the video on compound angle identities, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about how to use a compound angle identity to find the exact value of a given sine or cosine. So here what we have is use the identity for cos of A minus B to find the exact value of cos 15. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be writing out the identity that I'm going to be using. Now I've been given that that's cos of A minus B, and you'll have seen in the previous video that when we have cos, we get cos of A, cos of B, and whatever sign we have in the bracket, we have the opposite sign in the expansion. So cos of A minus B becomes cos A cos B plus sine A sine B. And what I now need to think about is I need to think about exact trig values, or angles I should say, that I know exact trig values for that have a difference of 15. So let's have a think about which angles we know exact trig values for. Well, 0 obviously, but then the ones that we tend to know about are 30, 45, 60, 90 and 180. You should know without using a calculator the value of sine of each of those angles, cos of each of those angles and tan of each of those angles. So we actually have two choices here for a difference of 15. We could go with cos of 45 minus 30, or we could go with cos of 60 minus 45. Either one would be fine. I'm actually just going to go with this one. Now what I've done here is I've chosen A to be 45 and B to be 30. So in this identity here, wherever I see A, I'm going to write 45, and wherever I see B, I'm going to write 30. So what that's going to look like is cos 45 cos 30 plus sine 45 sine 30. And these are all exact values that I should know. So cos 45 is root 2 over 2, and cos 30 is root 3 over 2. Sine 45 is root 2 over 2, and sine 30 is 1/2. So what I have, taking each term at a time, root 2 times root 3 is root 6 over 4. Root 2 times 1 is root 2. And again over 4 because it's 2 times 2. So writing it as a single fraction, my conclusion is that the value of cos 15 is root 6 plus root 2 over 4. And if you type into your calculator cos 15, it will confirm that it is root 6 plus root 2 over 4. Quite frankly, I find that disgusting. I think you should be able to do that without a calculator. I don't think the calculator should tell you, but it does. And the consequence of that is that this is fairly infrequently examined. But what you need to be able to do is to use these identities, because it could be that it's done in terms of k and you have to prove a certain identity that way. So building up some fluency with exact trig values is a good way to spend some time. I'll see you in the next video.